The story opens with a sense of ordinary life colliding with injustice. A quiet but determined Black family is introduced, dignified, resilient, and carrying themselves with quiet authority despite being underestimated in daily life. The early scenes reveal small but constant moments of dismissal, from being overlooked in conversations to subtle slights that others barely notice. This sets the stage. The world does not always see them clearly, but they are unmoved, grounded, and prepared. Then the first major conflict arises: a public confrontation with authority. A police officer or official figure steps in, not out of justice, but arrogance. The family's quiet dignity is tested in front of others. Instead of shouting or reacting in anger, they meet the injustice with silence, precision, and a calm that unsettles those trying to belittle them. The atmosphere shifts. Onlookers begin to realize something is happening that's bigger than the moment. It's not just about disrespect, but about systems of power being quietly challenged. Part 1 ends with a turning point. The oppressor believes they've won, but the audience sees clearly. The family has just begun to move the system against them, quietly and deliberately. The setting shifts to a more public, high-stakes environment: a school, a flight, or a formal gathering where authority figures believe they control the narrative. The family, still calm, enters this space with quiet presence. They are mistreated openly, not with violence at first, but with dismissive words, mockery, or deliberate exclusion. The oppressors grow bolder, thinking silence equals weakness. By contrast, the family's restraint feels heavier, almost intimidating, because it is not born of fear, but strategy. As the pressure escalates, a visible moment of injustice occurs. A child or elder in the family is disrespected or physically pushed aside. Students, passengers, or bystanders begin to whisper, record, and take notice. The system, once invisible, starts to show its cracks. Yet the family does not erupt. Instead, their composure unsettles everyone. Quietly, one of them activates what the oppressors cannot see: a network of accountability, calls, signals, or documents that begin pulling in higher levels of power. What looks like silence is actually the sound of systems moving into place. By the end of part 2, the audience understands. The injustice has been noted, recorded, and triggered something much larger. The oppressors still think they're in control, but they're standing on a trapdoor they can't see. The atmosphere begins to change subtly but unmistakably. The arrogant officials, officers, or attendants keep pressing, confident they've humiliated the family. But around them, the crowd's perception is shifting. Bystanders exchange uneasy glances, phones record, whispers spread. This isn't right. Then the first visible sign of systemic accountability appears. A call comes through to an officer's phone. His expression falters. Security or executives step into the room, quietly assessing the situation. Or documents are revealed that prove the family's authority and status beyond question. The oppressors hesitate for the first time. Their control begins to slip. The family remains calm, not gloating, not reacting, only holding their ground with quiet power. Every pause, every steady glance forces the room to recognize a truth: they cannot be erased. At this point, the narrative widens. This is no longer just a family versus one oppressor. It is about a system being forced to see itself. Policies, protocols, and oversight mechanisms are quietly triggered. The incident is now on record, flowing upward to legal, corporate, or federal channels. What seemed small, a dismissal, a shove, a refusal of dignity, has become a case study in systemic bias. By the end of part 3, the oppressors are visibly shaken. They begin to realize this isn't ending the way they expected. What they thought was a private act of power has become a public failure of the system they represent.